All right, Cameron, thank you very much. Joining me now here at the Burton Barr Library, Secretary of State, Arizona Secretary of State Michele Reagan. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Big week.
Yeah, exactly. You have some new numbers that just came in on what Cameron was talking about a little bit.
Exactly, we do.
We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first I want to talk about, we're 8 days out now. And I've heard the time for campaigning and influencing people, it's over, if not coming quickly to a close, and now is the time to really get out the vote.
That's true. The amount of undecideds is going down and down every day. So now the name of the game is turnout. Who can get their people to go to the polls and actually show up on Election Day.
Yeah, and which is kind of interesting because I have a stack of mail, political mail, that's about that thick just from the last week. And you were saying the way to make that stop.
I have a trick for you and for anyone who's getting a lot of mail and all those phone calls. If you want those to turn off and you have an early ballot, get it in the mail. As soon as the county recorder receives that, then all the campaigns know not to send you anything. You've already voted.
Yeah. So one of the criticisms from the last general election was how long people had to wait to cast their ballot. What's being done this time around to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, first of all, voters have a lot more options, which is fantastic. We've got the early voting. The county recorders obviously are getting mail-in ballots all the time, every day. I'm going to expect to see some really big numbers tomorrow. And then the biggest thing is polling locations. Do you want to compare it to the election that I think you're referring to, the presidential preference election? Yes. There were 60 polling locations, and now there are about 750. So big increase.
Big increase. So let me ask you this. What keeps you up at night? What do you most worry about since you're in charge of making sure this runs well?
Well, we don't want to give the bad guys or girls any ideas. So, but I will just say if somebody really wanted to mess up an election, changing the vote is pretty hard to do, and because none of that's online. Changing people's information, that would be a way that election could really go awry. So you go to the polling place and your name isn't Faye and you don't live where, and that would be bad. So protecting the data is our biggest concern right now.
Yeah, and that's coming away at 6 o'clock. We're going to talk a little bit more with Michele Reagan here about what's being done to prevent that.
Lots of good stuff.
Thank you very much.